Hey guys, welcome to Troy Time. Hey, check it out. It's tech time here on the channel. We're going up into the tech room. We're going to talk about emergency power, okay? We're going to talk about emergency power that's available for everyone, okay? We're going to talk about the $12 super battery, okay? It's awesome. It's $12, so it's accessible to everybody. And it's got a ton of value. It's going to have a ton of value whether you have no emergency power system in place at all. You can use it as a standalone unit. If you want to combine it and go the next level up and combine it with a solar power, it's even more awesome. And even if you already have a solar generator, a solar panel, or even a gas generator, this thing's still going to work as an awesome expandable battery that you can add to that system. So it's just a great thing for everybody. Even if you're not a techie person, stay tuned and watch this because this is a great deal you want to take advantage of. It's $12. I'm trying to get this video out while it's still on sale so you can pick up on an awesome deal, okay? Hang with us, check us out. We're talking about the $12 super battery. We're going to talk about what it is. More importantly, we're going to talk about the awesome stuff it can do for you, okay? So you definitely want to pick 1, 2, maybe even 3 of these things up. It's an awesome deal. It's coming up next. Okay guys, real quick before we jump to the room, I want to talk about emergency power and how important it is, okay? In my mind, this is one of the most important preps, okay? I know water's super important, food's super important, right? But power is the most likely target that you'll feel once things start to get a little chaotic, okay? It doesn't take much chaos, it doesn't take much to happen before you're out of power, okay? You know, all it takes is a simple storm and then you're out of power, or maybe even a heat wave in the summer, or sometimes just nothing. Our infrastructure is just so vulnerable, all right? And that's just by itself. It's already a soft target, let alone anything going on with the cyber attacks that are happening or any sort of escalation in warfare. Power is going to be one of the first things that gets attacked, okay? So you want to have that lockdown. You want to be self-sufficient. We talk about the 1 month mentality on my channel. Power is one of the places you really got to get under your belt, okay, guys? So I hope you take advantage of this. Honestly, sincerely, I really do. And while food and water might be provided by some emergency services, no one's going to be providing you power. You're going to be left on your own for that, right? And while food and water you might have on store or you might have to acquire, you can do that through different preps, but you're going to constantly have to do it. Once you do your power stuff, it's one and done, baby. You can do this stuff and it's passive. So it's just going to be there. It's just one and done. Just you get a panel, you get this battery, and you're set. The sun's just going to shine and you're just going to soak up all that sunshine. You're going to soak up all that power, baby. Totally passive. You don't have to do anything. It's just a check in the box. That category is taken care of. So there's nothing else like that that's so important and so much of a threat, an easy target, and yet can also be so easily handled. So I want you to take advantage of this today. If you don't have anything, this is a great opportunity to get into the game for $12 and get your emergency power set, all right? So please follow along. Watch what we got to say. Okay, guys, so this is the $12 awesome super battery, okay? Why do I call it that? Well, obviously, 1, because it's $12, right? Obvious. 2 is because it is a super battery, okay? This is made by Poytl, I believe is the brand name, Poytl. It's available for $12, okay? Okay, why is this a super battery? Okay, 1, because of its size. 2, because of the speed at which it charges and discharges to other things. And 3, because of its price, okay? So it's just awesome, right? So let's take a look at the back. Now, I'll tell you this. I'm not going to get too techie on this. I know people in the past, they say, hey, Troy, it sounds like you know what you're talking about. But one of my subscribers said, he lost me when you started talking about watts, okay? So watts is real simple. Watts is just volts times amps, and it's just a unit of measure of power, okay? So rather than say watts for the rest of this video, because I want to keep it simple for everyone, my tech guys will know what's going on. If you're a tech guy, you'll know I'm talking watts. But for anyone else, I don't want you to stop watching. I want you to follow along and join in the greatness, okay? So I'm not going to say watts. I'm just going to say units of power. It's just that simple, okay? You don't have to know what they are. You can just know it's relative. If I say that this device takes in 100 units of power and another device uses 1 unit of power in an hour, then you know that it can power that thing for 100 hours. It's that simple, okay? So just keep it relative and you'll understand the greatness that I'm showing you here, okay? But let's look at these specs, okay? I don't know how well that's going to show up, but there they are for anyone that wants to zoom in and see them. Okay, but I'll just give you the gist because I want to keep it simple. So this thing here, this has 106 units of power, okay? What does that mean in general terms? It means it's equal in round numbers to 3 regular USB batteries, okay? That's right. So that device right there is equal to 3 USB batteries, okay? Equal that guy and these 3. Okay, does that make sense? So he's $12 and he's equal to these. So that's like getting 1 of these or 3 of these for $4 each. Okay, and it's awesome because he concentrates all that power. These have 36 units of power in each one. Okay, he's got 106 units of power. So he's equal to 3 of them. Okay. Now, sometimes when you buy things on the internet, they don't always end up being what they say they are. This guy, got the right size, and he's got the right weight, and I have no reason not to believe that he's really 106 units of power. But I am going to measure him this week, okay? I wanted to put this video out so you can take advantage of the sale before it ends. But I am going to measure him. I'm going to charge him fully up, and then I'm going to fully discharge him. And I'm going to make sure that he has 106 units of power. But I got to tell you guys, at that price, even if he only has half that, he is still a steal. That's why if he really has 106 units of power, this thing is rocking. This thing's awesome. It's equal to 3 regular batteries, okay? Another way of looking at it, this is equal to 3 dozen AA batteries. That's a lot of juice, guys. And you can charge this thing every day and have 3 dozen AA batteries. You'll power everything, right? You'll power tons of stuff, like all your smaller devices, headlamps, flashlights. I'll give you a little list here coming up. But yeah, so just tons of stuff. And 106 units of power in this bad boy. So that's one thing that makes him super. Okay, so I wanted to take just a quick minute and go over some of the things, not all, just some of the things that you can power with just USB power. Okay, it's awesome. There's a ton of things. I've got a whole other video on this. Go check it out. They're going to go in more detail. I'm just going for a visual reference so you see just how much stuff this can do. Okay, this is our little adapter set. We talked about that in another video. That will give you AC power. You'll have AC power from a USB battery, 12-volt battery. That's going to help convert that thing into like a mini solar generator, okay? 12 volts and AC power from a USB battery. You'll power flashlights, night lights, real lamps, headlamps of different styles, different video games, right? Different video games, okay? Tablets, phones, battery chargers, radios, Bluetooth speakers, actual big screen projector, right? With USB power, it's awesome. Heating pads, right? TV, that's a TV receiver. You can run it right into that projector for a giant screen TV, all with USB power. Again, heating pads, phones, and all sorts of different fans. Fans that are bigger than this one even. I just don't have it here on the desktop. So that's just some of the stuff. It's just going to give you such a high quality of life. When power's out, you're going to be able to do a ton of stuff for a long time with a very powerful unit. Okay, guys, so the next thing that makes this thing super is the speed at which you can charge it, okay? So right now we're charging it at 17 watts. Right now we're charging it at 17 units, okay, out of this USB-C port, right? It's charging at 17 units. A typical battery will charge at 5. It's what they call 1 amp charging, okay? What they call fast charging usually is between 7 and 9 units, okay? And this one is charging at 17, so about twice as fast. And I've seen it at 18. Depends on how much charge there is in the battery, right? But I've seen it at 18 units. And we're charging at 17 right now, which is super fast way to charge these things. That's going to have tons of benefits. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But it charges super fast. Okay, guys. Here it is charging at 22 units of power. That's crazy speed. So that little battery is being charged by this little power bank, and it's charging at 22 units, okay? And so very, very fast charging. It's going to charge about that same off of a solar panel. So this little battery here is going to charge faster off of a solar panel or in your car, okay? Because the DC voltage is higher. Then it will charge from a wall outlet. But then there's one little adapter we can add to make it charge super fast like that on a wall adapter too. We're going to show you that. Okay, guys, to maximize your charging speed, whether you're in your home or in your car, you're just going to need one of these little type of adapters, okay? It doesn't necessarily have to be these brands, but this is what you want, okay? For your home, you want a power distribution or 3.0 USB, okay? This brand happens to be Fast. That's the name of it. This one, I don't even remember the name, but again, power distribution or QC 3.0, okay? That one goes in your car. It's got the familiar auto style connector, okay? As long as you've got those two things, then when you charge through those methods, it'll charge at 18 watts, okay, which is really fast. Okay, here I am charging it via wall outlet, okay, that fast adapter that we talked about, and let's look and see what we got. 12 volts at 1.5 amps, okay, so that is 18 watts, all right, right there. It's going to move around a little bit, but yeah, 18 watts is what that's charging at. then maybe a little more, maybe a little less. 17, 18, 19, right in there, okay? That's off your wall outlet, charging that battery. Okay, and here it is similarly, okay? We're just simulating the carport. We're using a 12-volt charger from one of these solar generators. But yeah, so let's take a look at the stats here. 12 volts, basically 1.5 amps. That is 18 watts, okay? So all you need is one of those little adapters, and then you'll be charging full speed, whether you're charging in your home or in your car, okay? And 18 watts is great. Okay, guys, so this is awesome. Check this out. So here's that little battery, the little Poitol battery, I guess we'll call it, charging this Hedofish solar generator, okay? And it's charging it at 18 watts. There's 18 units coming into that box from this little box. So if you've got a solar generator and you've got 1, 2 of these, you can really just make use of them as extendable batteries. That's really going to supercharge your solar generators, okay? Okay, the one note of caution there is that you can't let your solar generator get drained all the way down to 0, okay? It needs to have a little energy in it because there's some handshaking that goes on to make sure that the right voltages get amped up and things like that to do the fast charging. If your solar generator is completely dead, it can't do that. So, but if it's just got, say, 2 or 3% charge left in it, then this guy can jump in and start recharging it like an expandable battery pack, okay? So it's really, really good. You just can't do it when it's at complete 0, so it can't bring it back from the dead. Okay, so how might a device like this have a practical use or a lot of value for someone who has no solar capability or no emergency power whatsoever? Okay, that's awesome. So what you want to do is probably get maybe 2 of these. They're only $12, okay? So you're only invested 24 bucks, okay? Now, you can charge these through your home wall outlet, okay? Like before a storm, you could charge these up and you'll have 200 watts of power available, actually 212. That's more than some entry-level solar generators, okay? So that's a lot of power. You could say, you could distribute that 50 watts a day and go, 4 days or however you want to do it. I got a video showing all my low power devices that you can use that'll just stretch that power so far. Okay? But you can power this thing definitely from a home outlet, okay? You could power it from your car, right? A normal battery, I wouldn't recommend charging it in your car. If it only is going to pull 5 watts, I wouldn't do that, okay? But something like this that pulls 18 watts, yeah. And especially if you've got 2 of them, and maybe like my truck has 2 cigarette 12-volt adapters, so I could run 2 batteries and get 18 and 18, 36 units for just running the car 1 hour. Now, granted, it's not that efficient, but man, you can do a lot with that much power. So I would definitely do that if you didn't have a gas generator and you didn't have a solar panel or it wasn't sunny out. I would definitely use the car to do that. Another use case that you could do is if you had power at work, but you didn't have power at home. You could grab a couple of these and charge these up, no problem. Get them both charged while you were at work and bring them back home, and then you'd have that much power, 200 units, 212 units available to you at home that night. So it'd be super, super useful in that case. And another case you might use it if you had a couple of these is if you went to a restaurant or something like that when power was out. People often do that. If your power's out, a lot of people will eat out across town where there is power. And then you could bring these with you, and then for an hour while you sit there, whatever, you could charge and get 18 watts each, another 36 watts total coming back after just 1 hour. So hopefully that makes sense. It's just a first of the line, nothing else, standalone power bank, emergency power bank. This thing's super useful. A couple of these will go a really long way for a really small price, okay? Okay, guys, so we talked about how to use it as a standalone item in your home and how to charge it. And we talked about how to use it as a extender battery for solar generators, okay? So lastly, let's talk about how to use it with solar panels, okay? Now, this solar panel in frame here is just for photo. You would use usually a much bigger solar panel. This one could charge it, but it would charge it slowly, right? So to get the most out of this, you would want a 30 watt, a 50 watt, or a 100 watt solar panel, okay? I have a video describing how to tell what sizes should be those values, okay? A lot of times if you go on Amazon or eBay, they claim to be those sizes, but they're very, very much smaller. So I talk about an easy way to identify based on the size, based by length and width. You can compute how much average power you're going to get out of a solar panel. And I mean a 30 watt, 50 watt, and 100 watt. I've got a video that explains it very simply. Okay, so go check that video out so you don't get scammed. But a 30 watt, 50 watt, or 100 watt panel will power this thing Easy peasy. And the beauty of it is it can basically charge 2 of them in one day. So if this battery takes in 18 units of power at a time and it holds 106 units, then it's going to take approximately 6 hours to fill this battery, okay? If you have a large panel, it's going to be pulling in more than 18 units all through the day, all 10 to 12 hours of sunlight. So 2 of these batteries you can fill up. Basically, they're going to take about 5.5 hours each. So if you've got 11 hours of sunlight, you'll fill up 2 of these batteries and you'll have 212 units of power available to you every single day. That's a lot of power when it comes to using it on the right devices, okay? That's really the secret. If you've not seen my Solar Secrets low power devices, go check that video out because it's a game changer. The low power devices is really what allow you to live like a king with a tiny little bit of power, okay? So 200 units of power a night, oh my gosh, you know? We talk about, I showed you a little bit on this video, some of those devices. A lot of those devices take like 1/4 of a watt for listening to the radio, 1 watt for playing videos, whether it's TV or whether it's, movie files or what have you, you know? So 200 watts a night, man, that can do a lot. You can power heating pads. There's just a ton of stuff. We already kind of touched on that, right? But the trick to doing it with the solar panel is you get 2 of them, you fill one up, you bring that one in, and then you fill the other one up, okay? So that's how you do it with two of these batteries, and it's only going to run you 25 bucks for the batteries, 24, right? So it's a great deal. Okay guys, another great way you can use these powerful batteries is if you have a gas generator. Now I don't have a good visual for that because it's nighttime, so I've just included a can of beans here. I hope you guys appreciate the pun. Anyways, if you have a gas generator, you don't want to run that thing 24/7, okay? Even if you do, it can run really hot. So you want to give it some downtime. So during that downtime, you can be charging up your batteries while the gas generator is running. And then if you want to give it an hour or 2 hours of downtime, then you can do that and you can still run lights and all your smaller stuff. You can't run your major appliances, obviously, but you can run a lot of your smaller stuff, keep your lights on, keep your fans going, all that kind of stuff during the generator cycle time. So usually you run your generator for however long you're going to run it for the day and then give it a couple hours to cool down. You know, you don't want to overheat those things. They're not meant to run 24/7, okay? So that's great for that. Also, if you were looking to extend your runtime, let's say you had 3 days worth of gas. Let's say your gas generator goes through 5 gallons of gas in 12 hours. So 10 gallons a day, maybe you've got 30 gallons of gas, right? What you can do is you can charge your batteries, like run your gas generator for like 3 or 4 hours a day, okay? Let's say you run it for an hour in the morning, okay? You've got your refrigerator on there, maybe you're cooking your breakfast with your microwave, you're doing your thing, you run it for an hour, you're charging your batteries up. Then you shut it off, you use the batteries for 3 or so hours, 4 hours during that gap to keep the lights on, to do everything, to do all the stuff you need to do. And then at lunchtime again, you turn it back on for another hour, you chill down your refrigerator, you cook your lunch, you charge your batteries back up, that kind of thing. Another 3 or 4 hours go by, and then you run it 1 more hour for dinner, you're cooking your dinner, you're cooling off your fridge, your freezer, you're doing that kind of thing. Basically, you are cycling the power off and on, you're charging your batteries while you're running your generator, and then you're using your batteries while your generator's at rest. So you could probably get away with maybe only running your generator like 4 hours a day. And so then you take the time that your gas thing will provide power, you extend that from 3 days up to like 3 weeks by using the batteries as an interim, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Maybe we'll do a video on that in the future, but I think you guys that have a generator get the idea. You can use the batteries as a supplement. During the downtime for the generator, you can use the batteries. Whatever ratio you end up with that works for you is cool, but it can definitely help extend, in some cases, a very, very long time for a small amount of gas, okay? So I just want to bring that point forward. We may do a video like that in the future. We'll see how it works out. All right, so I just wanted to pass that on. So in summary, this little battery, man, it is awesome, okay? I am going to do the test on the capacity of it, and I'll either make a video short showing that or post a note about it in the comments. I'll probably do both. I'll try and do that this week. But definitely pick these up. It's a great, great buy. It's really gonna get you started in the right direction for your emergency power. And man, it's just a really good way to go. So we talked about how it has value just as a standalone system. We talked about how it's awesome to work with a solar panel. And we talked about how it can be an extendable battery for your solar generators that you already have. Also, we talked about how you can use it with actual gas generators, okay? So there's just a ton of uses for this thing. Definitely get a couple of these, pick them up now while they're on sale. So I hope you appreciate this video and all the steps that we're taking to show you the good stuff. And we'll be back soon with lots more videos. We're still doing canning. We're out in the garden. We're doing hydroponics. We're doing solar. And we're just having a good time. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're along. I'm having a blast. I hope you guys are too. Let me know in the comments if you like this video. I'll be back with more soon. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll talk to you soon. This is Troy Time. I'm out.